Good morning. We're now 2.5 months into our COVID-19 lockdown, and I've been making a lot of comfort foods. So today I decided to make my friend Comfort's cabbage dish. She calls it soul food cabbage, and I'm going to call it Comfort Cabbage Medley. So first of all, I have to explain what the ingredients are. I'm going to use olive oil, and the base of this dish is cabbage, as you can guess. So I'll put about 2 tablespoonful of olive oil, and I'm using red onions, ginger, garlic, a medium tomato, fresh tomato, green peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers, carrots, and shredded cabbage. I shredded about a whole cabbage here. And instead of hot pepper, I'm using cayenne pepper, in French called piment de cayenne. So once the oil is hot, I am going to add the onions here. I don't like the oil too hot because it is splattering all around, and it's just a little tip to avoid having to clean around the stove too much. So the onions, I'm going to saute them, but avoid getting them overcooked. So the onions are cooking. I'm not going to use the fan of my range, just to avoid interference with this video, and also that way the whole house is going to smell my Comfort Cabbage Medley. And if I walk out of here today, I'll be walking out with my kitchen. And anybody who, well, I'm not actually going out today at all, not even for my usual walk, because it is raining and it looks like it's gonna rain all day. The more reason for a really nice comforting dish. And this dish is completely vegetarian, but you can use any sort of protein you want to add at some point in the cooking process, or when you're eating, you can use, if you're vegetarian, you can use tofu, for example, or beans, any kind of beans. If you eat meat or seafood, you can use chicken, beef, pork, shrimp, or anything else in the protein, with protein, because it's very important while you're eating carbohydrate foods to combine them with some kind of protein food that helps processing of the carbohydrates in your body. So the onions are cooking. They're getting very beautiful to look at, caramelly. So at some point I will add the next ingredient, which is ginger. My ginger is chopped in chunks. So if you don't like the taste of a bit of ginger in your food, you can grind your ginger or crush it, or even use ginger powder. I prefer fresh ginger. So once the onions are somewhat cooked, I am going to add my ginger, and with that I like adding, I usually use I buy my fresh garlic and crush it, use a whole clove, but I haven't gone to the grocery store, so I'm going to use frozen fresh garlic. I get this from Trader Joe's. I'm going to use, this dish likes garlic, it loves garlic, so I'm going to use 5 cubes of this garlic. If you don't like garlic, just skip that, okay? I know not everybody likes the taste of garlic. Actually, and then mix everything. I'm going to mix everything. So I'm now going to turn the heat to medium. It was on high, now I have it on medium. And, for a somewhat slower cooking process. I can smell it already. It is so sweet smelling. Already feels really good. And I put a cube of a chicken cube here to give it more flavor, and because I use that chicken cube and a big one, I am not going to add salt to this dish. So at the end, if you want to, when you're eating or anyone is eating, they can add salt to their taste. So for my taste, I like the taste of vegetables, because there's a natural sweetness that is in the veggies, and I just prefer that than a lot of salt in the food. So let that cook a little bit. Next, I'm going to add my tomato. Again, I use a medium-sized red tomato. Now you can make it also without tomatoes. If you want more tomatoes, you can do that, but I don't like using a lot of tomato because of the acidity. Because for a better blend of the flavors, I think it's best to not use that much tomato in this dish. Tomatoes are in here now, as you can see. And because the carrots are a bit harder, I'm going to use my shredded carrots. I had whole carrots that I peeled and shredded. Actually, not exactly, yeah, I did shred them with my knife. And let that cook a little bit, stirring occasionally. And let me just put these dishes, stack them up in here, these bowls that we have used, so we can bring closer to us the peppers in all their colors. This is interesting because these colors are actually the colors of the Cameroon flag, which are green, yellow, sorry, green, red, you have to know your color, people. Green, red, and yellow. Vert, rouge, jaune. And the flag has a star in the middle. So we can pretend we have a star. So this is the star here in the middle. And going to remove this. When I'm cooking fresh cabbage, I just love eating the cabbage. So I just put the star in your mouth and I'm chewing it. It's so juicy, so fresh and juicy and sweet. So this mix is going really well now. In the meantime, I'm going to add my cayenne pepper. So I am sprinkling. As you've noticed, I don't exactly measure my food. I just eyeball it. Usually when people ask me for a recipe, they are a bit disappointed that I can't exactly give them portions, measured portions, because I think in cooking it's very important to eyeball things and taste as you go if you want, and also just gauge things like that. But if you're not if you're a newbie at this art called cooking, yeah, of course measurements are good. But what I usually tell people is, you can come and watch me make the dish, or I can come to your house and we make the dish together. I've done that with some friends where we actually went grocery shopping to buy all the ingredients and then we cook together. And I say, while I'm cooking, you can take notes for yourself, because I realize that there are different learning styles. And I learned cooking. I kind of like teaching cooking the way I learned. Nobody really sat me down to teach me what I make usually. But I was watching my mother, my older sister, and other women around me, and some men who cooked. So I watched, and also in the process of that helping, you know, I would be given the task of chopping vegetables, or slicing vegetables, or grinding a condiment, or getting some water to add to the dish. So I like that method of learning a lot. It's some kind of a hands-on learning, and but I realize that not everybody has the same learning style. So if you ever want me to teach you how to cook something, I don't have a recipe for what I make unless it is a recipe that I copied somewhere, or for example, for Comfort's recipe, she posted a video on YouTube. I watched that video, and but I can come to your house, or you can come to mine. But don't call me during COVID-19 though, because the social distancing doesn't make for a good cooking experience in group when you don't live together, where you trust that the person you're with is observing the same kind of living practices in terms of COVID protection and prevention of the virus. So now I'm going to add a little piece of carrot jumped off my fork. I'm going to eat it. So now I'm going to add the red peppers. This is so tasty, people. The green peppers and the yellow peppers. This is so tasty, juicy, tasty. And you see, this here is already a really beautiful and tasty and vitamin-rich veggie medley. You could, modify and just leave it at this, and eat. For example, if you don't like cabbage, you can just make this and eat. If there's any veggie that you don't like, you can omit it. Comfort used celery in her recipe. I did not have celery in the house, that's why I used green peppers. I'm going to add the cabbage at this point because now this is not easy. I have to see. Okay, I was going to pour and holding my phone for recording. That's not going to work, so I am going to do this. And here, this is going to be a bit of a challenge because of the size of my pan, my pot. So the point here is to mix and bring the top veggies to the top, the bottom, the veggies in the bottom of the pot to the top, to mix everything together and get your flavor, your blend of flavors. So I'm going to, and because, okay, this piece, I think we're going to remove it because cabbage is one of those veggies that shrink when it's cooked. The volume of this whole thing is going to go down, and as it goes down, I'm going to be adding some more cabbage to see the quantity that is just right in terms of color and balance. So this is yummy, so yummy looking. Yeah, and I like my veggies not overcooked. I like them just somewhat al dente, so you can feel a little bit of crunch. Yeah, I like them crunchy. Why don't I just say that? Crunchy. And oh, see how beautiful this looks. Wow, Tommy, you did something, my sister. This dish is so inspiring. It is so inspiring and so soulful and comforting already to the eye. I can imagine the taste when it's all done. And this is something you can eat just with your protein sauce, but if you want to add something else, you can eat it with brown rice, with couscous, with pasta, with cassava, plantain, cocoa yam, or any kind of yam, like any other kind of yam, like sweet potatoes. I'm going to add some more cabbage. I don't think I'll be using all that cabbage because I don't want the cabbage to overpower the rest of the dish. So I think that's going to be it for cabbage, and the rest will be used for something else. So you can mix it like so. And this dish does not have any added water. Any liquid in the dish is coming from the natural veggies. That's the beauty of making these kinds of dishes. So the flavor is really all within. You know, there is no added water. It's 100% vegetarian, 100% vegetable, except for the cube that I put and the cayenne pepper. No other thing added here. And if you like more of a hot taste, you can use hot red pepper or habanero peppers to this dish. But I think that for today I am going to stick to the cayenne pepper that you saw me pour in earlier. Okay, let it go down a little bit. This is almost done. We have, you know, about, I'd say, a couple more minutes left of stirring and lowering down the volume. Okay, this leaf here is it's a little bigger. It's like a wrapper, but I'm gonna eat it. Oh wow, this is tasty. This one is also big. And if you don't eat oil, or you want to use something like butter, you can use that. I used olive oil. I recommend some kind of vegetable oil in general. And everything here is really fresh. And one tip when you're making veggies, this kind of dish, it's good to make it and to not cover during the cooking process, because when you cover the dish, when you cover, of course, the veggie wilt too quickly or quicker. But what happens also is you lose the color of the veggies. So, you know, in Cameroon we have this dish called ndole, and sometimes we make green ndole. So the ndole leaves are green. Ndole is what's also called bitter leaf. So when we make bitter leaf, we don't cover the pot. And I am not a chemist. I cannot explain to you chemically what goes on. I just know that when you cover your veggies, they lose their coloring. They wilt quickly and they lose the coloring. And the thing with food is I really like the aesthetics of food, besides the nutritional value and the comfort that it brings us. Food is healing. Eating is healing. And I think that the whole process can gain a lot also from aesthetics. And it's a whole sensoric experience, you know, cooking and eating. So you have what you're seeing, what you're looking at. So your eye is sending you messages, sending messages to your body. You're touching the food. That's also sending messages to your body. You are hearing, right now I'm hearing the food, the veggies simmer. That is also a great information that I am taking in and processing. And then when you get to taste with your tongue and your palate, of course, then you get a really full experience. And that's why I call it a true sensoric experience. And also when you're eating too, you know, depending on how one chews, you can hear people chewing the food. That also is part of the cooking experience. Sometimes, you know, somebody's chewing may annoy you, or sometimes your own chewing really gives you real good vibes. Like when I put that raw cabbage in my mouth, oh my gosh, the vibe was just out of this world. So, you know, for those of you who like cooking, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And of course, watching people enjoy a dish that you've made is just one of the greatest pleasures on earth. And I don't think everybody has the opportunity, especially these days as we are confined. Some people don't have the opportunity of watching people enjoy their cooking. And this is part of the reason I am really appreciating those recipes and cooking recipes that people are sharing, be it on video or in writing, because somehow it's some way of cooking together and eating together. I'm not going to send a video of me eating this, enjoying this dish, but I do think that It is very important, and I really appreciate what everybody has been sharing. Those who have shared, I've gotten a lot of ideas, learned a lot of tips, learned a lot of recipes, learned a lot about myself. So thank you for that, and I hope you appreciate my own uh, imitation of comforts recipe that I am sharing. Komi, thank you so much, my sister. As always, I know you, everything coming from you is always good, you know, from the very, very first day you and I met in Madison, Wisconsin. And Komi, by the way, is one of the best cooks I know. Oh my goodness. Komi brought me this, I had just had my son Gijol at Merita Hospital, and Komi, no, I think it was